And Jen.
Welcome back to another Meteorology Monday.
So I'm going to take Kayla's spot today and I'm going to say, so what are we going to talk about today?
You do not sound like that.
So what are we going to talk about today?
We are going to do a little Q&A and a 5,000 subscriber giveaway. We mentioned it in our last video, but we have recently far surpassed 5,000 of you watching our videos, which first off, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch our videos, leave a comment, follow us over on Instagram, interact with us, follow us on our weather journey. It is so exciting to go storm chasing and take you guys with us, sit here and talk to you guys every other week on to Monday, Tuesday. And we figured, you know, we've done a couple giveaways in the past, but let's do another one because 5,000 is halfway to 10,000, which is halfway to 1,000,000. Not really, but go with me on this.
We'll let her math that way.
So stick around to the end of the video for all of the giveaway details and the fun things that we're giving away. For now, we asked over on our YouTube community page, what are some questions that you guys have? You know, started a little debate about which donuts are better. Those of you who said Krispy Kreme are wrong! We're just gonna answer some of the questions that you guys left. Some of them are about certain weather events. Some of them are about meteorology in general. Some of them are more specific. So what do you say we launch into question number one?
Let's go for it.
So the first question is, what is your favorite weather or type of seasonal weather to study?
I like all the seasons. You know, you got storms in the summertime, you've got fall colors, you've got snowstorms in the wintertime. Spring, it's just, again, thunderstorms. I don't know, for me, every season's got its thing. But what I really like focusing on is tornadic storms. That's for me is if I had to pick one, it would be the tornadic season.
Yeah, it really started out with a political response there, you know? I just love everything. You know, everybody's a winner, but, you know, tornadoes, so.
No, but seriously, because I have lots of memories of, you know, growing up in upstate New York and snowfalls in the wintertime and you know, hurricanes down in Florida in the summertime, tornadoes and you know, like last spring, you know, in Texas.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest impacts to me was us chasing in Texas last year and chasing that severe storm, tornado warned storm actually, and seeing that beautiful blue hue, that green and blue with the hail curtain. It was just absolutely amazing. Things that I, you know, waited years to see and finally got a chance to not only experience it, but experience it with you guys. So that just, you know, made it absolutely wonderful. But yeah, for me, it would be tornadoes. I wanted to be a meteorologist when I was 8 years old and got into weather. And then when I was 14, my focus became more on the severe weather side of things and just fell in love with researching storms and learning all about that. So for me, tornadic storms would be number one.
Yep, I will go with the same answer. I do like a good tornadic supercell. I studied severe weather research in college. It was my favorite topic. It still is. Growing up with the hurricanes, probably hurricanes would be a close second growing up in Florida. And you forecasting the hurricanes and then giving me like the little like chart of the US and like having me like plot fronts and low pressure centers and hurricane paths and everything. So
I'm surprised you still remember that.
Of course I do. There's the blue crayon and there's the red crayon.
That's right.
Gotta draw the fronts. Some people learn their shapes by other methods. My father gave me cold fronts and warm fronts.
You want to learn your triangles and semicircles?
That's right.
Draw a surface map.
Another great question, why is it so windy in southern Indiana?
I think one possibility is the majority of the corn is grown further west. You think that might be the answer? No.
Or the lack of mountains and, you know, a general flat expanse. That's probably something to do with that.
So it would actually beg a follow-up question, and that would be, when are you experiencing the windier weather? Are you experiencing it a certain time of year? Is it ahead of certain frontal systems, behind certain frontal systems? If you could follow up with a more specific example, that'll help us out a lot. But some of the examples we can come up with right now would be because of its geographical location. It's more of a northerly latitude, so you're closer to a jet stream depending on the time of the year. Storms love to go right through the Ohio Valley,
as you know.
Yeah, definitely. So it makes it prime during certain times of the year for big storm systems, tornadic systems, snowfall behind it. So there's a lot of different components. It's almost like nicely situated geographically to have a higher wind speed.
Yeah, and I think you guys have a pretty strong temperature gradient pretty much all the time between, warm air coming up and cold air coming down, so that might also play a role. Next question! Did either of us ever apply for the Hauling Scholarship?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that is other than it's a scholarship, so I don't have much experience for that. What experience I do have is I did not apply to any scholarships. I just went and did the traditional method of, write a check. Yeah, I'm dating myself there. Write a check, pay your tuition, have a nice day.
Yeah, I also did not apply for that or get that, but I do know people who have, so if that's something that you're interested in, definitely apply for it. Sticking with the college theme, the next question is Oklahoma University a good college to study weather? I think there's a couple answers to this. So, A, it depends on what kind of weather you are looking to study. If you are looking to go into the tornado field or any type of severe weather like that deals with SPC and everything out in Oklahoma, it is the top school in the country. I believe it's still the top school in the country for that. But if you're looking to do maybe snow forecasting or hurricanes or something like that, or drought, probably not the best school to go for. There are other ones down in Miami you can study about hurricanes, up in the Northeast or over in Seattle you can study about snow. So it really depends on what you're going for, but OU is one of the big ones if that's what you're looking for. Next question you guys had is, what is one scary or dangerous situation that you found yourselves in? And what is a favorite moment or event out in the field? When the roads ran out and the storm did not. Documented in our Texas storm chasing episode.
That's right.
Yeah, that was not very great. We had a tornado warned supercell coming straight at us. There was a lot of hail involved. It was all rain wrapped. We don't know if there was a tornado on the ground at all, but there was lots of wind, there's lots of hail. The sky turned that ominous green color and we were kind of like, whoops, what road do we have? And the road that we were taking away from the storm decided to turn towards the storm right as the storm decided to be a right turning storm, and thankfully it worked out okay. And I don't believe if there was a tornado on the ground that it was on the ground for very long, but we did get quite a few lightning and hail scares from that one.
It was definitely a nail biter for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, in the core of it. You may see it on the video. I'm not sure if we have all of it in the video, but I remember driving and I'm like, okay, where's this road going? She says, well, it's still, zigzagging in that general direction, but the storm is coming that way. And so we're looking at it and I'm like, okay, so based on the storm structure, where's the hail? And if there's a possible tornado with rotation, where is it? And she's like, okay, it's going to be in that area right there. So I just got us as far south as we could, even though we were still going to be in the teeth of the storm. Well, I guess we'd be more on the lips than the teeth. We were close. We were so close.
Very close.
But as long as we could get outside that solid core of where the hail was, because we did experience some hail, but it wasn't as big. I think it was...
they reported up to 3-inch hail with the storm.
Yeah,
and we did not get that much.
It was just, literally a few miles to our north is where that core, we were able to get far enough south to get out of it, but we still got into, a big part of the storm. So that was scary.
Yeah, that's a good lesson on remember that storms can turn right and that your road doesn't always go straight. We
did have an escape plan. It was to keep going south, and had the storm continued to move to the east-northeast, we would have had a beautiful shot. But yeah, go ahead and check out that video, link below.
And going with that, what is one of your favorite moments out in the field?
Favorite moments out in the field. Well, before that, it was one of my favorite moments.
It was going pretty good before that.
For me, a few different events. That storm, the superstorm of '93, experiencing 30 plus inches of snow over a weekend in upstate New York. Hurricane events, going through some hurricanes. Fortunately, they were not strong hurricanes. They were weaker hurricanes, but just being in the Daytona Beach area, we saw one of the hurricanes. I think it was in 2004.
Was it Charlie?
No, it wasn't Charlie.
Francis?
It was. It might have been Francis. And even though the core of the storm went much further to the south, we still got a lot of the winds from the feeder bands. And just watching trees lay over, and it's just amazing the power of the wind. So I wouldn't necessarily say that was one of my favorite moments. I probably would categorize it as a scarier moment, but just experiencing that and being here to tell about it. Definitely. Yeah, other favorite events would be, ice storms up in New York, and after everything was done, you could go out and, as a kid, slide on your belly down your front lawn and, just make sure you don't go too far out on the road. But yeah, I've got some of those as favorite memories.
I've got a few as well. One of the hurricanes in 2004 was Charlie. It came by and it knocked out our power, and it was midnight, and there's little Kayla and my little brother as well, and we all sat by candlelight and we played the board game Trouble. And that was, scary because there was a hurricane going on, but it was pretty much missing us, and all the power got knocked out and we just sat there for an hour in candlelight playing Trouble. Another one, I went on a storm chasing trip to Oklahoma, Texas area with my school group back when I just graduated college, and some of the memories I have from that are my absolute favorite. We saw 2 to 3 tornadoes. There was beautiful elephant trunk tornado, which is my favorite type of tornado. It's just like the experience with the people and the storms and the whole process of forecasting and chasing was just one of my favorite memories ever. Obviously everything chasing with you, whether it's down the road, whether it's out in Oklahoma, whether it's a sunny day that we thought would turn into a storm that didn't, or if blue skies turned into like gray and then that really deep green, there's hail everywhere and there's tornado sirens going off. Any chase with you? Aww,
kind of falls into that category of being that political speech that you talked about earlier, right?
Next question.
Everything is my favorite.
Okay! Our next question is, how are hodograph soundings taken? These are kind of complicated, very kind of Calc 3 weird thermodynamic involved chart things that can be a little bit confusing, so I will link down below a great video that explains exactly what this is, explains it better than I'm about to do. But basically what a hodograph sounding is, it's like this chart. It has a polar axis, which basically just means that there's circles instead of a grid that you normally see on math things, and it's your wind speeds in knots, and then you draw a point from your origin where it crosses there up to however strong your wind is in that direction, and you point your plots that way and it kind of makes a curve. The easy way to remember is if it kind of like has a signature supercell curve to it, you can just kind of memorize what that looks like and look at it on the graph and be like, oh, look it, that's what this is. And that's the easy way, but there's a whole lot of really cool thermodynamic and calculus stuff that goes into wind vectors and shear and storm relative helicity and the way that a storm would react in this environment. If it's a right turner, where would it move? If it's a regular squall line, how would it move? How would it react? How much, storm relative speed do you have compared to the wind shear in the environment? So there's a lot of things you can get from this graph, but it's kind of a complicated one. But if you are not somebody who's into wind shear vectors and all of the nitty gritty, you can just kind of memorize, if it curves like this, then that means supercell, and you'll see it pop up if you're storm chasing. You might see it on certain storm chasing things. They'll be, look at this hodograph and look at what it's doing here, and you can be like, oh, I've seen that before. Don't know what it means, but I've seen that before.
At its basic core, the information comes from the balloon launches, the balloon soundings.
I should have started with that.
That's okay. Tag team effort.
Hey!
So every so often at pressure levels or where there's significant levels, it will record that information and send it back to a computer at the National Weather Service, and they will gather that information over the lifetime of however long the balloon stays inflated and it's continued to be afloat. So there's at certain levels that they look at, and basically they're looking at wind speed and direction. And basically on that hodograph chart that Kayla was explaining, it's basically you just kind of put a point at, okay, from this direction at this wind speed, dot. Okay, at a higher level at this direction, this wind speed, dot. And then you keep going up and you put all the dots to the level that you're interested in, like about 6 kilometers, and then you connect the dots and you look at that shape. And the information from that, the algorithm takes and infers more information. Like Kayla was saying, there's more thermodynamics, more vector calculus and other things that are applied to determine if a storm was to form in this area based on these parameters, what kind of storm will it be, if it's going to turn left, if it's going to turn right, if there's a squall line, how is it going to behave. So that's the foundation of what the hodograph, where it gets its information, and then how can you apply it in the field of meteorology to severe storms.
So we have an opening for Professor on YouTube to explain things, and I think you just got the job. And our last and final question, just to set the record straight, which donuts are better, Krispy Kreme or donuts?
I guess it depends on your mood.
No.
Me personally.
No.
Me personally.
Traitor.
I prefer Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
I grew up in the Northeast. Dunkin' Donuts was our thing. I still feel that Dunkin' Donuts donuts in the Northeast are still better. There's just nothing like a New York Dunkin' Donut.
Nope.
Massachusetts too.
Nope.
They stuff them, and it's just made really good. And down here, some of the stuffing can be lacking, or the flavor's not quite there. I always say it always starts with the water, but you know.
And then you have to have the Dunkin' Donut coffee to go with the donut. Because
Oh,
then
absolutely.
It's just.
Again, it goes along with the water.
Does Krispy Kreme have coffee? If they do, it's not as good. I love that we just had this conversation.
So it goes without saying what your favorite is. Dunkin' Donuts, please sponsor us.
For real. The fuel of storm chasing. I can see it now.
Ooh.
I'll write up an ad campaign.
Storm chasers run on Dunkin'.
That's it. That's it. All right, and if you're still here after our controversial donut debate, let's go ahead and get into the specifics of our 5,000 subscriber giveaway. Dad, would you like to model our first giveaway item?
Absolutely. Item number 1. This here is a wireless weather station. It does have the Celsius/Fahrenheit scale, so for those of you that are more inclined to the Celsius side of things, this is your weather station. I believe it even has, a weather forecast for the next 12 to 24 hours. You got your indoor unit, and it looks like that there's an outdoor unit as well, so that you can get your outdoor temperature and humidity.
Excellent. So that is our first item to give away, and somebody else will be winning something else. What is it?
All right.
Okay, prepare yourself for this next one. Okay.
All right. I am going to give, I've got examples. All right, ready? Here we go. Does everyone know what this is?
It's a raindrop.
It is a raindrop. And it's got some liquid inside of it. And it's got
excellent.
Some stuff there. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
The full view.
Can you guess what this is? So we are giving away, not necessarily this size, it's just a little bit smaller. We couldn't find one this size though.
No.
But this is another weather predicting tool as well. And let me actually get what we're going to give away.
Yeah, that one's ours. You can't have that one.
You've probably seen that in some of our videos in the background. Okay, so it is a storm glass. There it is there, a storm glass. Again, it's just a little bit smaller than what I displayed. So we're going to be giving away one of those as well. Really cool. And every time, it says, the water will be cloudy, you might have a front coming in, or it's dry weather and it's clear, or whatever the
or it's windy and there's crystals at the top or at the bottom or floating.
It always seems to be very, very accurate. So we decided, you know what, let's go ahead and give away one of those as well. And
super cool.
They're very cool. And it's a raindrop. I mean, come on.
How many of these do we have around the house? Let's be honest. There's a few.
Some are tubes, some are the raindrop, but they work.
Yes, and they're super, super cool. And we figured for 5,000, one of you deserves to have it as well. And getting into the details of the giveaway, everything will be written up down in the description box. We are sorry to say that this is once again a US only giveaway. I'm so sorry. I know that there are so many of you watching from overseas, but the prices these days, inflation is just killing us, guys. A crazy world we live in.
We were hoping that when we did the giveaways at the 2,500 mark, that by the time we got to 5,000, we would be able to expand it internationally, thinking that, okay, things will settle down and be more affordable, but it just kept going up and up and up.
Hopefully by the time we get to 10,000, the world will settle down, or we will be, you know, billionaires and able to afford
That's right. Be able to do more
the
giveaways
cost of sending stuff overseas. But again, thank you guys so much for subscribing, for watching our videos, for taking time out of your day to sit here and listen to us talk about the ins and outs of our storm chasing adventures and donuts and coffee and how cool our little raindrop thing here is. Really appreciate it. You're the best. We will, again, leave everything down in the description box, along with our school weather, our links to social media, our links to our website, and everything you could possibly want to know about Meteortech weather is down there. Check out the hodograph video if you want to learn about that again.
And also, thank you guys so much for your questions. We really appreciate it. We probably didn't get to all of them. I'm sure there was a few that we didn't get to, but we might have another one of these and have some more questions, again, to do one of these. If you're interested, go ahead and comment below and leave a question for the next video.
Exactly. There were a couple questions that were more in-depth, like case studies, and we have put those on our case study list to get done. However, the case studies take a little bit more like research and stuff to get into, so those are going to be separate videos. Until next time, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you at the next Meteorology Monday.